Game 7, Boston trails by 2. It's been a battle all night, and for many in this building, this feels like the end. But Leroy and Cerrone, they've been here before. Leroy lurking, eyes locked in, and he pulls it loose. He's got the steal with 5 seconds left. He looks up, finds Cerrone. Cerrone catches, steps into it. A 3 for the win. He hit it. Cerrone from downtown. Leroy to Cerrone. They have done it again. They've done it.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Leroy, this is your time slot. I'm just a guest in your time slot.
Listen, we got to talk to the program directors because the Leroy and Cerrone show isn't unofficial like every Saturday at this time. So I don't know. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
In my heart.
Really?
It's official.
This
is your show.
Oh,
2 to 5 on Saturday.
Stop.
How long have you guys been doing 2 to 5 on Saturday?
We've been doing it for a long time. This is
your time slot. I'm just a guest in it.
Oh.
I've missed you. How you been?
You know what? To be honest, man, I missed you too. And my wife, Tina, told me to tell you hello. She loves when you and I are on together, and she thinks you're a great person.
She is a great person.
And I don't get on here, and I don't BS. I don't talk just to talk. I could be doing something else. I'm here. I'm going to have a good time, and I'm here to tell the truth as far as Leroy sees it. And when it comes to, like I just said, my wife said to tell you hello.
Hi, Tina.
There you go.
Always good to see you guys out and about. You come through the studio or whatever it may be.
Yep.
So everything else good?
Everything else it's okay. It's okay. I'm learning not to complain and just keep it moving. I'm going to say this. What's today? Today's the 28th. So 2 days ago, and I'm glad I get a chance to do this. 2 days ago, 23 years ago, my father passed away. And it was it's more so of a celebration of life now. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to say to him, if he's able to hear me somehow, some way, if God is able to give him a message, maybe being on air and the radio sends a harder signal, a louder signal, if that's possible. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I just want to say to him, the family loves you, I love you, and hopefully I'm making you proud.
How did he influence? George, oh my God, did you do that on purpose?
I was like,
I don't know. I think
the Lord was about to give me a call and tell me what's up.
Upper room.
Gave you the dial tone? Oh, my God. Leroy just poured his heart and soul out on the air, and George, you gave him the Jimmy Stewart dial tone on that?
Man. Cold-blooded.
What a prick.
Signs,
Wow. Here I was going to ask you, how did your dad influence your life? And then, George just comes in and just goes, whatever. He's not listening. Of course he's listening.
I'll tell you real quick. My dad influenced my life so many ways. I don't have enough time. But the things that are popping up in my head at this moment, working really hard, disciplined, integrity. Come on. I love the fact, and I'll just give this out there. This does not make me a perfect human being. I'm not. I have many issues. I have messed up many times. But Matt, there's nothing like being able to go anywhere you want without having to worry about somebody calling you out for some BS. Treat people the way you want to be treated. When you mess up, just let people know. Have some integrity, stand for what you stand for, and that's one of the big things that I learned from my father. So again, rest in peace in him. I'm not saying it with a tear in my eye. I'm saying it with joy in my heart. I'm glad I had the opportunity to have my father in my life for up until I was about 20, I believe 22. It's been 23 years, but he was the greatest.
We always need our parents.
Yeah,
no matter how old we are.
Absolutely.
Was he a sports guy?
No.
Really?
Oh, my father, let me tell you some of the things that used to tick me off. I can remember watching, okay, so it goes like this. Celtics, when it comes to the NBA, Celtics, that was my team.
Yep.
Chicago Bulls were second. Okay, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls.
Right, that era especially.
I can remember watching the Bulls in the finals, and my father would come downstairs. And he'd walk in, and I'd be in the den watching it. He's like, oh, man, they're going to lose tonight. This stuff is fake. They're just setting it up for a game. He would do this every single time and then turn around and go back upstairs. Just, that was his way of, he was funny. He was extremely funny. But he wasn't into sports that much. But God bless him. There was a time period, young people out there, when you wanted something, your parents didn't automatically give it to you. And I used to want, me and my siblings, we would want WrestleManias. We would want all those pay-per-views. And I was like, no, I'm not paying that much. No. And you sit there and like, oh my God, I'm missing out on the greatest thing ever.
It's good to want things.
Good to want thing. And to learn how to deal with being told no. But then the older we got, and I think he saw how much we enjoyed it, along with my mother, they would agree and get us the little, no holds barred pay-per-view, SummerSlam, and all this stuff. And even though he wouldn't watch it with us, I'm grateful and I appreciate the fact that, along with my mother, they were cool with doing that, and we had a ball.
So your love of sports, does that come from your mom? Because she's called in, and I get the sense she's a sports fan. Where did it come from?
My mother's not a sports fan either.
Really?
Not like that.
So this is really organic. Was this friends, siblings?
My mother likes to compete and play, from what I can remember, but she's never been someone to sit down and want to watch a game. Where did this love for sports come from? You know what? I'm gonna give the credit to the playground in elementary school. You know the deal, Matt. Recess time, that was the Super Bowl every time you went outside.
Right, it's true. I mean, and what sports kids are into at the time really influences your interests.
Yes.
For me in the 90s, everybody had a Griffey jersey. Now you go to any elementary school, everybody's wearing a Messi jersey.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So I went to the Brazil-France game on Thursday, which was awesome. Great sporting event. I did.
Ooh.
I skipped Red Sox opening day live.
We got to talk about
to go see Messi. Not Messi. Mbappe to go see France and Brazil. It was just, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a World Cup ticket this summer. It feels like a really hard get. Feels like a really corporate event. I don't have tickets right now, so I just didn't want to miss this. France is so good. I'm a soccer guy.
Yeah.
Baseball's my number one, but I don't know, to have France come here, to have Mbappe come here, and it was a Brazil home game. It was just such an awesome environment. But what I loved about it is there were so many kids at the game, and all of them had, Brazil jerseys or Mbappe jerseys or Messi jerseys. It was just such a kid-friendly sports environment. Like, this is good. We need more kids who are into sports. And they're just into it in a different way now. But there were kids playing. It was a tailgate, and this warmed my heart so much, Leroy. They were all in their soccer jerseys, and they were playing wiffle ball. It was opening day. It was a beautiful day. It was awesome.
Oh, take me back.
But you're right. That's where kids fall in love with sports. If it's not instilled by their parents or their grandparents, it's often on the playground at elementary school because everybody else is into it.
I go to the gym here every single day. Well, most days. And this is definitely not a brag because I suck in the gym. I quit sometimes and go on home. But I'm bringing this up because before I start to work out, do you know I still do the stretches that I learned in elementary school? At gym, Mr. Graves at the Daniel Butler School. All right, let's stretch, and he would show us the stretches, and I still do those to this day. So again, for me, and I think a lot of people, elementary school is where that love for sports competition really, really, really kicked in. Oh, I miss those days. The little hutch footballs. Oh, we had Super Bowls every single recess. Kickball, trying to kick the ball on the roof. Oh, we did. Basketball, you know what? We really didn't play because the hoop was too high.
Yeah.
But man, good times.
Did you read Dan Shaughnessy in the Globe maybe a week and a half ago talking about his high school basketball coach?
No.
And you just mentioned a elementary school PE teacher. It's a great. If you haven't read it, check it out. It's his high school basketball coach recently passed away, and it's a great tribute to him, but not only to him, but to the teachers and the coaches that impact the lives of all of us and really change the towns and the communities that we call home. Is a wonderful piece. I can't recommend it to you enough.
They don't get the credit they deserve.
No, they don't.
And when you're young, you don't realize how much of an impact they're having on your lives. And then by the time you figure it out, when you try to find them or go back, they're not there. I've done this. I've actually gone to the town of Belmont to try to find my elementary school teachers, just a way to contact them. I just want to simply say thank you. Maybe give them some flowers. And they haven't been able, they can't give out their information, number one. So it's been, and I respect that. It's been very, very hard, but I've tried. I've really, really tried. But again, elementary school. Wow. I just great times.
You'll find them. You've got a platform.
Hopefully.
You'll track them down.
And if I can't find them, hopefully I'll be able to contact their family or something like that. So, hey, Miss Rooney, first grade teacher, Daniel Butler School. Miss Higgins, second grade teacher, Daniel Butler School. Miss Higgins, I already said, she was second grade. Miss Santino, I had her for 2 years at the Daniel Butler School.
Multi-age.
So she, I just pulled a Zoe.
Yeah, and I'll be there right quick.
No, it's all good. It fell on paper. God is good. Yeah. So if anybody out there,
if you destroy that keyboard, nobody will think it's you, Leroy. That's Zoe's table. You don't want to mess with that.
Good times, man. Good times.
I wanted to shout out Miss Reed as well, my second, third, and fourth grade teacher. They get married. They get married. And you just missed the name. You can't find them in the name. I actually had her for first, second, and fourth grade. Misspeaking, but all those years, she just ascended and ascended. I had moved away for third grade when my parents were all splitting and all that. Ended up coming back to Fitchburg, telling myself. Yeah. And fourth grade, she was the teacher, my homeroom teacher. The biggest hug when I went to see her. She helped and made sure that I was in all these honors classes to the side. I was doing like all these math equations while the class did regular things. So shout out to Miss Reed. If you're hearing that from Fitchburg, Rheingold days, I would love to re-meet again.
And can I just say this? I know we're up against it. Matt, the older we get, and I'm saying, once we get out of elementary school, and even high school, even college or whatever, the older we get, do not accept this idea that you shouldn't compete or you shouldn't be active. I don't care what age you are. If you're able to move and you want to get out there, get out there. Don't let anybody put you to, make you feel like ashamed. To me, Matt, you look like a pitcher. Like you should be pitching. And I've said this multiple times. I don't know if you but if you can, get out there. Who cares if the team that you're up against hits 8 home runs? It doesn't matter.
I'd walk them all, but that's okay. Strong arm, just no idea where it's going.
Chapman figured it out.
That's if Aroldis Chapman can figure out how to throw strikes, maybe I can someday. No, I said this last week with Kendra. I'd love to find a softball league.
Do it.
Blow out my Achilles, but that's all right.
Do it.
I'll do it.
Do it.
Why the hell not?
Yeah.
All right, we're off and running. It's Leroy and Cerrone. I'm just here. I'm in for. Where is Cerrone today?
Cerrone, I believe he said it on air, I think. Yeah, he did. His baby girl, his daughter, she's celebrating her birthday.
Okay, that's a good reason.
Spending time with family. Come on, now.
The most important thing?
Family, friends. Come on.
It's more important than this.
Hey,
that's for sure.
Take a break from time to time.
617-779-0985. We're off and running. I want to get to Jaylen Brown, his injury, the Red Sox opening day. Plenty of stuff going on. And a question for Leroy I want to ask a little bit later on about honoring some of our previous athletes here in town and who should be the next to get a specific honor. We'll get to all of that. It's Leroy and Cerrone. It's McCarthy in for Cerrone. It is.
Stop.
More Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on the way. local guys, lots of local sports talk. Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
And a 2-2 from Chapman. And a fly ball off the end of the bat that should do it. Anthony is there. And the Red Sox take opening day in Cincinnati. And they do it with a shutout 3-0 against the Reds.
Well, this is how you dial it up. I mean, you talk about the pitching and defense. Now, listen, I think that the offense will perform. I think it is underrated. But tonight, Garrett Crochet gave you everything you wanted out of him. I know it wasn't the greatest camp. And then you lined it up with Slayton, Whitlock, Chapman. Absolutely fantastic. And we saw the impact of ABS. That walk, well, was a strikeout by Roman Anthony, created 2 more runs. Nice insurance runs late. Good win for the Sox.
Matt, you've done such a phenomenal job to the point that when I think about baseball, I think about you. I think about the Tyler Millikins of the world. So I know you're happy.
Did you catch a game the other day?
I caught a little bit of it, not the entire thing, but I caught enough. If you don't know, if you listened last week to Leroy Cerrone, I talked about recommitting my life to baseball. I've been away from it for a while, fell out of love with it. I'm just going to be honest.
I think a lot of people did.
Fell out of love. The World Baseball Classic had a lot to do with me. I'm not going to say I'm in love with it again, but at least giving it a chance. I'm willing to accept a text message. I'm willing to pick up the phone when baseball calls. And hopefully I'll fall back in love with it again. Let's go Red Sox. That's step number 1. Let's go Red Sox. So I did catch some of the game, and I'm going to do my best to watch the rest of the game once we leave here today.
So I'm curious as to what about the World Baseball Classic kind of brought you back to the sport, because I think a lot of people have had this experience maybe over the last year or 2 or so. I mean, the World Series was all time. It was tremendous. Game 7 is probably a top 5 game in the history of the sport. It was that good. And I feel like people have really kind of come back to the game. What's your reason for coming back to the game?
For me, it's about connection. And let me just explain. When I was watching the Baseball Classic, I get it. It's baseball. I've seen baseball before. But the connection I felt, seeing the passion, the emotion, seeing Red Sox players contribute in this World Baseball Classic with energy, I said, man, this is what the game should be. I'm not naive. I don't think that day-to-day Major League Baseball is going to have that type of energy. It can't. But maybe there's a piece of it. Maybe I am missing out. So let me give the game a chance again, and see how it goes. I know this doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but I play MLB The Show. I enjoy it to the fullest. I know it's not real life baseball.
It's important for the sport.
But I enjoy it. I get it. I love it. The game within the game within the game within the game. That's with every sport. And again, seeing the passion, it also goes like with the Winter Olympics with hockey. You saw the passion. You can't help but want to hold on to that, and hopefully you can get an ounce of that, a dash of that with Major League Baseball. The Red Sox on my home team, I'm going to check them out.
So international competition, I think, is at a real, a high right now in sports. I mean, coming off, the World Baseball Classic, which was really good. I mean, the Olympic hockey, the gold medal, both gold medal games were just tremendous. So I do agree that international competition is really good for sports in general. But video games are great for sports too. I mean, you need to be able to connect and relate with the players, and I think that's one of the challenges that baseball had. Obviously the number one challenge was pace of play, but people weren't connecting with the players. They weren't, you could probably name more baseball players right now than you could have in the last 5 years, just because you feel you're a little bit more invested in the players.
Yeah.
And for whatever, maybe you feel like the players are more invested in the game, invested in the product.
Yes.
That creates more investment for you and more attachment to the stars and more attachment to the players.
Yeah, I want to feel something when I'm watching sports. I love seeing the competition. I love rooting for my team. But if you can make me feel something, oh, okay. Now you've done something. You've made a connection with me and many others. That it's like, you know what? I respect that. I'm going to have to give it a chance now. Again, I understand the World Baseball Classic scene is totally different than Major League Baseball. You're not going to get what you got during the World Baseball Classic. But for example, the two humps, the selling.
Yes.
I don't understand people who have a problem with that. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
It goes back to it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning of the show, Matt. I see that. That reminds me of how we were on the playground.
Reminds you how you got here.
And how you got here. But it's that kiddish, I know they're making millions and millions of dollars, but I love that.
It's a kid's game.
It's a kid's game. Did you see what happened with the Dodgers last night? Diaz comes out. I mean, we've seen it before with the Mets. Okay, fine. But, man, when that young lady started playing the horn and he's coming out and the lights are flashing and all that, yes, I felt the connection. And then you have a actual game. The pace of the game is different. It's moving quicker.
Yes.
There's so many changes, challenging, all that. I love it.
ABS is great, isn't it?
I love it all. So with that being said, I feel more connected. And again, the Red Sox obviously are my hometown team, so I'm going to check them out, period. Until, or hopefully they can keep up the pace and not fail me and lose the connection. But so far, so good. And I'm talking about spring training leading into the first game of the season.
The opportunity is so there for the Red Sox. People are coming back to the sport. It's a better product on the field. People are more attached to the players, to the stars. The Red Sox need to now, be in lockstep with that. The Red Sox need to keep pace with the progress that baseball is making. I think last year was a really good year for the Red Sox, making the playoffs for the first time since 2021. People kind of came back to the organization. I think a lot of people teetered this offseason with the way that things went down, but I think there's a pretty, strong belief in this team that they're going to be competitive this year, that they're going to be a playoff team, that they're going to compete in the American League because of their pitching staff. But the Red Sox cannot miss this opportunity. If it comes down to the trading deadline, they need to be aggressive because the sport is just improving so much. They can't rely totally on the fact that people are coming back to the game. You also need to bring people back to the Red Sox.
Yes.
They took a big step in that regard last year. They have to continue that this year. I was so excited. I mean, I'm always excited for opening day, but you get to tune in, watch Garrett Crochet, strike out two guys in the sixth inning, with the bases loaded. Like, that made me feel something. Roman Anthony winning the ABS challenge in the ninth, and I know you're maybe not that far into the game yet, but there's a moment in the ninth inning where it kind of gets you locked in. You're like, ooh,
oh yeah,
all right, this is cool. And Roman Anthony's just a stud in general. He's the man. So I agree. I think people are coming back to the game, and I don't think your experience in that way is unique, Leroy. 617-779-0985. Neil's in Taunton. Hey, Neil.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to sound off a little bit with you guys about coming back to baseball. I can really relate to this conversation. For me growing up, baseball was – I was actually almost named baseball, no word of a lie. My father, loved the game so much. And, as we got older and attention spans changed and entertainment, was pulling at us from so many directions, baseball became an afterthought. And – as I'm maturing, I'm about to be a father, and, my attention span is intentionally expanding. I think baseball has something awesome to offer. The simplicity, the 162 games, days out of the year, you can sit down and, watch a game. And they've done a good job, increasing the pace of play without taking away from the sport and like the simplicity and the game that we, grew up loving. I mean, nothing more American and like representative of our childhood than Little League baseball.
America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers.
Matt, can I just add? Can I add two things before we go to break? I think another important factor to why baseball, it feels like it's getting back to what it used to be, like the attention and everything. I feel as though a lot of people are searching for that old thing, that old feeling. And it's not just people of a certain age. I'll give you an example. I love music too. This past year, over $1 billion worth of vinyl was sold. It's the first time, I believe, since 1983, 1984. And it's young people driving that. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because talking to young people, talking to my kids, their friends, you get the sense that even they are like, there's too much going on. I'm too stressed. I'm watching movies. I see Stranger Things. Was that really how it was when you guys were coming up? Yeah. And so what's happening is, this is just my opinion of observing, a lot of young people are purposely trying to slow down and connect with even the things that their parents were into, to see if it makes them feel whole or calm and don't have that much anxiety. Baseball, you can't go back to the way it used to be. However, it is a game that the pace is still slower than most, but there's a calm to it. There's a joy to it. Now you're just throwing a few things that keeps the young people connected, and you're good to go. I'm telling you, there is a desire by many in society to return to how things used to be. The people want to slow down.
The pace is everything.
Yes.
The pace saved the sport. The pitch clock saved the sport.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is proof that sports should not be resistant to rule changes. When the fans want something different, you have to listen to your fans.
Yes.
The fans went away from baseball for 10 to 15 years because, there's a generation of fans that maybe baseball skipped or didn't connect with as much as they probably should have because of the pace of play, because of the product they were putting on the field. And I was one of the people who resisted change initially because I said, no, it's baseball's not the problem. You're the problem. No, baseball was the problem. The fan is never the problem. You have to give the fans what they want. The fans wanted a game that was played at a faster pace. They want more balls in play, and baseball still has a way to go there. I mean, because the pitching is so good, it's so dominant that strikeouts are still high. But it's not perfect. But there's been a lot of significant improvement for the sport. You have to give the fans what they want. You have to listen to your fans. And I feel like the NBA is starting to end up in a place where they haven't listened to their fans. Now we're trying to figure out how we combat tanking because we've let it get out of hand.
Yep.
You can't let your sports problems get out of hand. Otherwise, you will go through what baseball went through for half a generation to a generation. And I worry that the NBA is kind of in that spot right now. I think Adam Silver understands it. He knows that tanking is a problem, but I don't know how you fix it. I don't know where the NBA is at this point, but I think the NBA is in the middle of some of the same things that baseball was going through. The fans are rejecting the competitiveness of the sport, rejecting the style of the sport, rejecting the way the game is being played. You can't fight that. You can't.
I agree with you with the NBA. I don't think they're in a deep hole as Major League Baseball was. They're still in a hole. And I think, though, this is why some people get paid the money they do. They'll figure it out. They will absolutely figure it out and improve the game. But back to baseball, just real quick, I want to ask you a question. Having that man on second base in extra innings, are you cool with that too? Because I love that.
I am. I thought I was going to hate it.
It's like, let's go.
I like it. Well, right. It's because you play 162 of them.
Yeah.
And I'd even consider putting it in the postseason, not in the 10th inning, maybe in 13th, though.
Oh, okay.
Based on some of the games that were played last year, I think once you get through about 12 or 13 innings, then the game becomes a war of attrition. So I'd consider even expanding that to the postseason.
Wow.
Not in the 10th inning. Definitely not in the 10th inning, but we don't need 18-inning World Series games. We had one of those this past year. You can't have games go until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You can't, because again, you're not giving the fans what they want and what they deserve. You have to give the fans what they need. The fans are going to ask you for something. You can't just ignore that. And I think baseball did that for a long time, which is why, you went away from the game.
Yes.
Like many people, you went away from the game, and now there's something bringing you back. And I think that's a story. It's a very common story at this point. You see it. People are coming back to the game in droves.
And as a casual fan who's recommitting, I want to say this to the Red Sox. You don't necessarily have to win to keep me, but you must compete. You must convince me that you are going all in. You must. And with that, I know
we've struggled to do that.
They've struggled, but if I get the feeling that it's a genuine attempt at trying to improve and trying to compete, then I get it. Which brings me to something else I want to ask you later on. But
we'll do it on the other side. I see you on the phone lines. We'll take care of you. 617-779-0985. It's Leroy and Cerrone. No Cerrone today, McCarthy. It is. This is your time slot. Why are you telling me to stop? I'm a guest on your show today.
Bless your heart.
This is the Leroy and Cerrone show. We'll continue.
You're listening to Leroy and Cerrone on the Sports Hub. Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle. Leroy and Cerrone on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Matt McCarthy, Leroy Irvin. 4:30 today, right?
Yes,
Leading
sir.
into the Bruins. Got the Bruins later on today. We'll get to them a little closer to puck drop. You had a question you wanted to ask.
Yeah, so we were talking about the Red Sox, and from what I've been, since I've recommitted myself to the Red Sox, paying attention, reading up on the team, the thing that I'm seeing consistently is that a lot of people who are into the Red Sox believe that pitching will not be a problem. That this pitching staff for this team is really good.
Yeah.
It's consistent. And I know the saying, pitching wins championships. However, and this actually goes back to my playing MLB The Show. I understand, and plus looking, just watching in general, I saw last season, and the team really hasn't changed that much, but I look at the Dodgers, and I look at their bats.
Right.
I look at the Yankees, who I just had a 3-game series in MLB The Show, and I was in it, but them bats, it just ripped me apart. My point is, both those teams have power. I'm not hearing that with the Red Sox. So if pitching wins championships, does that still hold for the Red Sox? Does that idea apply to the Red Sox, or are the bats going to be a problem?
So the bats are the number one question, but I think the Red Sox are going to be very good this year because I do believe in pitching. I buy in on it. I think that's how you win in baseball. The most important thing you need to be able to do on a baseball field is pitch. Mm-hmm. And I think the Red Sox starting rotation maybe doesn't have the highest ceiling in baseball. Like it might not even be as high as the Yankees starting rotation with Rodon and Garrett Cole and Max Fried. But the Red Sox have more depth than just about anybody in baseball. And over the course of 162, that pitching depth, I think, is going to time and time again show up for this team. And I think, what you saw on opening day is how they're built to win. They won that game in their style, in their image, which is, it was a 1-0 game going into the 9th inning. It was a scoreless game in the 7th inning, and the Red Sox played a little small ball, got one run across. That's going to be good enough for them, especially on Garrett Crochet nights. That might be good enough for them to win. Now, there's very little margin for error with that. They're going to have to hit more than they did on Thursday. I think they are capable of hitting a little bit more than they did on Thursday, but I don't think this is a top 10 lineup in baseball, at least as presently constructed, because for them to be a top 10 lineup in baseball, there are going to be a lot of things that are going to have to go right. And in baseball, if you're counting on a lot of things to go right, only some things are going to go right. They have potential with Jarren Duran. They have potential with Wilyer Abreu. They have potential with Marcelo Meyer. There is, if Duran can be the player he was or closer to the player he was in 2024, that's going to make a big difference. If Story stays healthy, he's an impact player. Wilson Contreras is a good hitter. Marcelo Meyer had a really good opening day coming off the bench. He has a lot of offensive upside. Wilyer Abreu could be a 25-30 home run hitter, but he's never done it because he hasn't stayed healthy, and he's never really faced lefties before. So will this lineup hit a little bit more than they did on opening day? Yeah, they probably will. Are they going to be the 1927 Yankees? No, but I do think they're going to hit enough. I think they're going to hit enough, and if they're smart enough, and I think they've got a good manager, I think they're going to be able to play some small ball, run the bases, play good defense, and pitch, and you can win a lot of baseball games doing that. It's going to rear its ugly head in October because they really don't have a power hitter at this point, really anywhere on this roster. I mean, even Anthony hasn't really tapped into his full power potential yet, throughout his minor league career. So, there are questions for sure, but every single team in the American League has a significant question, just like the Red Sox. Like the Yankees' question is, will their pitchers stay healthy? Because they've got a lot of veteran guys who have had injury history, injury problems in the past. There's a lot of swing and miss in that Yankees lineup. They hit for a lot of power, but they're not going to do what the Red Sox are going to do, which is going to be put their bat on the ball. The Yankees don't do that. The Red Sox will do that this year. Their strikeouts, I think, are going to go way down. And the Yankees don't move the line. So it's two completely different style of offenses. I've got questions about Seattle's lineup. Really good pitching staff, but questions about their lineup. Toronto went to the World Series last year, but they lost Bo Bichette. And they've got injuries in their starting rotation already. So of the 4 best teams in the American League, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays, all of them have what I would consider to be a fatal flaw. So what's going to separate any of those teams? The Red Sox are right in the mix with all of them, and our expectation should be contend for the pennant. Based on the landscape of the American League and based on their pitching staff, they should contend for the pennant.
Wow. Okay.
But their lineup, I don't feel great about it.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't. There's no power.
Because you had mentioned, you was like, I don't know if their power was going to show up in October. And I said, whoa, October? So your you believe that they should be contenders. You just said it. They should at least be in the conversation for the pennant.
No doubt. They should be a playoff team easily. With this pitching staff, over the course of 162 games, teams are going to have injuries. It's just the way it is. The Red Sox are better built to withstand injuries to their pitching staff than maybe any team in baseball. And injuries are inevitable in the sport. I mean, baseball is, it's such a big picture sport until it isn't. October is small sample size, but you got to get through 162 games first. They are built for the regular season. I don't think they're built for October because I don't know where the power is going to come from. And in a short sample size, you need, a big time power hitter who's going to go up against an elite 8th inning power arm out of the bullpen, and you need to be able to take that guy deep. Like they don't have that guy on this roster. So it's going to rear its ugly head eventually. But in the regular season, I mean, they should absolutely position themselves to be, they can win the division with this roster. I really believe that.
Is it fair to look at the Red Sox and compare them to the Dodgers? And just hear me out, because yes, they are the champs. They're going for a three-peat, but they spend money. So is it fair? I'm talking about the team on the field. I'm not talking about, the money being spent and everything like that. Is it fair to compare the Red Sox to the Dodgers?
We're not comparing anybody to the Dodgers at this point. I mean, the Dodgers are on a completely different level. And by the way, I think they're so good for baseball. They're a villain. I mean, were the Yankees of the late 90s and early 2000s bad for baseball? Yeah. I know everybody said at the time they were bad for baseball. When you look back on it, they were great for the game because everybody is now gunning for the Dodgers. I mean, you, as somebody who said you've kind of gone away from the game, you come in today and say, hey, did you see Diaz come out of the bullpen for the Dodgers last night? Yeah. That's you as a casual baseball fan coming into me, somebody who dedicates my professional life to this sport, and you're like, hey, that was pretty awesome last night. Did you see that thing in L.A.? And actually, I didn't. So, that's so good for the sport.
I guess it's not fair to say compare, but is it fair to look at the Dodgers and say, if they can do this, then how come I'm talking about the Red Sox, can't do that?
Of course it's fair.
It's fair?
The Red Sox should spend more money. Of course, the Red Sox should always spend more money. The only thing I would say, and this comes across as a defensive ownership, because it really isn't. I don't think there's much to defend, because they're pocketing more money than they should. They should spend more money on the baseball team. That being said, the Red Sox, I think, are 6th or 7th in spending this year. That's enough to win a World Series. Like I think in some ways we have a tendency to excuse away the front office's decisions because we just put it all on ownership. You should spend more, and of course they should spend more. The Red Sox are leaving something, they're leaving ammunition in the gun. Because they're not spending as much as the Dodgers. Of course, yes, the Red Sox should spend as much as the Dodgers. I understand that they're not going to. I can't fight that fight. But what I will question, at the end of the year, if the Red Sox don't have enough hitting, I will say, well, why'd you spend $130 million on Ranger Suarez when you could have spent $130 million on Kyle Schwarber to give you a power hitter? Like, I think we have a tendency to excuse away baseball decisions and not focus enough on the front office decisions and the baseball decisions because we're just so mad at ownership. And you have every right to be mad at ownership. I'm not telling you not to be mad at ownership. I am too. But let's not ignore that they've definitely spent enough money on this team to build a World Series winner. And if the lineup isn't good enough, that's not on ownership. That's on the front office. Like, that's just, you chose to spend your money that way because you thought the value of Ranger Suarez at $130 million was more valuable than Pete Alonso at $155 or Kyle Schwarber at $125 or whatever he got. Like, that's the baseball decision that they made, and I don't want to ignore that, and I don't want to gloss over it. 617-779-0985. To you we go. How about Eric in Reading? Hey, Eric.
What's up, guys? And I couldn't agree more on the Dodgers. What would Batman be without the Joker?
Exactly.
Not great.
Seriously, what would the NFL be without the Patriots over the last 20 years? Yeah. I mean, were the Patriots bad for the NFL because they were the villains and they kept on winning?
Couldn't agree more. Look, I wanted to just add on. You guys were talking about baseball and some of the stuff they've done. I think, and the owners will never agree to it, but if you take off games, shorten the season, Because the problem is, by the time, sorry, I'm a little worked up.
It's all good.
By the time the season gets to the end, everyone's got their fantasy football leagues. Everyone's into football. We're talking about the teams. We're talking about futures. We're talking about Drake May. And baseball's just kind of pushed to the side. When if they take off less games, I don't know, you have the playoffs going before football starts. I think that would help.
See, my problem is with that take is that I remember a time when football was starting and it didn't matter. I remember staying up late. There was a time I lived in Atlanta. I remember Boone hitting that home run and sitting in the Sox home. And nobody was thinking about football. So if it could happen in the past, it can happen again. I wouldn't change a thing. Obviously, you got the financial side of that. Like they would take a hit if you're going to cut away games.
Never do that ever.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. But if you can put out a good product, make that connection with fans, and keep people entertained and involved, yeah, you can compete with the NFL. You're not trying to go up against the NFL their entire season, but in October, you're good.
I don't think anything can compete with the NFL, and it's not even. You shouldn't even try. Like this isn't baseball. In our lifetimes, Leroy will never be the number one sport again in America. That's just the way it is. Football is king. It will be king for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's the way it is. But baseball right now, I think is you can make the arguments based on the World Series ratings and the World Baseball Classic ratings that baseball has reemerged as the number 2 sport in the nation, which I did not see coming 5 years ago. And people have come back to the game. And the fact of the matter is the World Baseball Classic, a tournament that half the country I don't even think knew existed about 2 months ago, outdrew games 1 through 6 of the NBA Finals. Outdrew Game 4 of the NBA Finals in 2024 with the Celtics and the Mavericks and 2 huge media markets. You know, basketball royalty in the Celtics and Luka Doncic. Like, the fact of the matter is that World Baseball Classic final was, I mean, it beat the average. It beat the average of the 2025 NBA Finals. It was right on par with the average of the 2024 NBA Finals, again, with 2 massive media markets and, you know, star power galore in that series. Like, that's the World Baseball Classic.
Passionate,
I mean, who cares?
Passionate
in the end,
competition wins every single
it
time.
Does.
Every
it
single
does.
time. You get, like, you tell me, let's say it's October. If you told me that the Dodgers and the Yankees or the Dodgers and the Red Sox were in the World Series, oh, please. Oh yeah, you're competing.
27 million people watch Game 7 of the World Series on a Saturday night up against college football, whatever was going on that night.
And this is something that Cerrone and I have talked. We talk on the phone a lot. And it's probably been mentioned. We also got to show a lot of love and give a lot of credit to Ohtani.
He's a gift from the gods.
Not only is this guy phenomenal on the field, but you got to think about the audience that he brings beyond America.
Asses in seats.
Oh my
Asses
goodness.
on the couch.
So yeah, that plays a huge role in the success of Major League Baseball.
Star power matters for sure. And the Red Sox have 2 legitimate bona fide stars in Garrett Crochet and Roman Anthony.
Let's go.
617-779-0985. Speaking of star power, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Who are the top 5 athletes in Boston sports right now?
Ooh.
Jot this down. We'll do a little exercise on the other side. There you go. I got one for you. It's Matt McCarthy and Leroy. Cerrone's out. It's Leroy and Cerrone here on the Sports Hub.
Stay tuned for more from Leroy and Cerrone on the Unfair Tire Studio. This is
strong finger all up and go.
This is home of the 18-time world champion Boston Celtics. WBZ-FM and HD Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, let's see. Tiger Woods, you guys know who he is. The 15-time major champ was arrested yesterday on suspicion of DUI after crashing his car in Florida. He's now out on bail. Last night, no JB, but Peyton Pritchard scored 36 points to lead the Celtics to the 109-102 victory over the Hawks. Jason Tatum scored 26 points and grabbed 12 rebounds. The Celtics will get back to work tomorrow versus the Hornets. Men's college basketball, Duke over St. John's 80-75, Michigan over Alabama 90-77, UConn over Michigan State 67-63, Tennessee over Iowa State 76-62. Today you have Iowa versus Illinois at 6:09, Purdue and Arizona at 8:49. Women's college basketball, Notre Dame over Vanderbilt 67-64, UConn over North Carolina 63-42, UCLA over Minnesota 80-56, and Duke over LSU 87-85. Today, Michigan over Louisville 71-52. You got Kentucky, Texas at 3, Oklahoma, South Carolina at 5, Virginia, TCU at 7:30. In the WNBA, reports are the Connecticut Sun have been sold for $300 million and will be moving after this upcoming season to Houston. Red Sox and Reds this afternoon at 4:10. Sonny Gray is scheduled to get the start for the Sox, and the Bruins will face off against the Wild at 5. Catch all the action right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub starting at 4:30. And the Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Prolotherapy. Don't let joint pain keep you off the court, course, or trail. Eliminate the pain with Dr. Franchi of Boston Prolotherapy. I'm Leroy Irvin. Your next update is in an hour.
Deep three, violent two-hand slam.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Taking your calls, giving hot takes. Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
People's Champ taking your call, 617-779-0985. We will get to you. I see on the lines. I promise. Did ask Leroy, though, his top 5 athletes in Boston sports right now. And you can make of this list whatever you want. What is your criteria? Did you have any type of criteria?
I just went with who I thought were the most popular. Who, when they show up someplace random, the place goes crazy for. Mm-hmm. So that's how I got my list.
They call that like a Q rating?
Yeah, I guess, a Q rating. And, okay, in no order. Or do you want them in order?
No, put them in order.
Oh, my God.
Be brave.
Okay, I still think Jason Tatum is the guy here in the city.
Really? Ahead of Drake May?
I do. I really, really do. I think it's Jason Tatum. I think it's Drake May after that. I think Jaylen Brown. Then I'm going Roman Anthony. And low key, maybe some people will be upset about this. I think Christian Gonzalez is on this list at number 5 in an honorable mention. David Pastrnak.
That's pretty much my exact list. Pasternak's the honorable mention here, and it doesn't have anything to do with, Pasternak's an incredible player. I think it actually more has to do with where the Bruins are themselves right now.
Captainless,
and this year has been a nice surprise. They're better than I thought they were going to be. I just don't know. I was at the game the other night, and the Bruins no-showed. It was the Toronto game, but I'm not sure if I'm feeling energy from Bruins fans right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a lot of belief in what is going on with the organization, with the team, whether or not they make the playoffs or miss the playoffs, and this is just totally anecdotal. It's, just take it from a guy who takes phone calls from sports fans for a living. I'm not sensing as much energy and connection and fan commitment and fan engagement with the Bruins right now as I have in the past. So that's why Pastrnak is outside the top 5 for me. It's nothing against David Pastrnak, who's an incredible player, but I think he's outside the top 5 just because, well, hockey is, the the number 4 sport nationally. It's a bigger sport here, but the state of the Bruins right now, I think, is holding Pasternak back.
Yeah, see, I literally thought about it like, hey, if an announcement was made at a junior high that one of these players were coming in, which player would the students go crazy over? And not just go crazy over, they would tell their parents that they're coming in, and their parents might be like, I might need to come in that day.
So you know what? I think Pasternak does have that. I think he does it. Like his individual Q rating, however you want to call it, is high. But I don't.
Not top 5.
I just think it's the state of the Bruins right now, which is maybe why I keep him out. My top 5 is I go from 5 to 1. I mean, Christian Gonzalez is, and we'll see what happens with the contract.
Yes.
But, I mean, it's the most popular sport. He's the second best player on the team.
Yeah.
He's number 5. Roman Anthony is number 4, which is crazy. He's a 21-year-old kid, but I think, the sky's the limit. I mean, he is a rocket ship. He's going to be number 2 on this list.
He could be
in about a year or two.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good he is. Jaylen Brown's number 3. Jason Tatum, to me, I have at number 2, just because quarterback of the New England Patriots is number 1 and will almost always be number 1. If you're anything good, you're anything special. I mean, he was second in the MVP voting. And listen, I'm harder on Drake May than most in this town. I have not excused away his playoff performance like most fans have. It was bad. It was wretched, I would argue. But he's number 1 on the list.
As great as Drake May was this past season, I think I think the reason why I don't have him at number 1
is because he sucked in the playoffs.
No, it's not that. I still think he gets compared to Brady to some degree.
He always will.
And so, because when you think about the popularity of Tom Brady and how much we went crazy over that guy, and it's just like, I get it. They went to the Super Bowl. He was an MVP candidate. I don't think anyone could call in and say, you know what, but his popularity's right up there with Tom Brady. I'm not saying it's a fair assessment. It's just how I'm kind of gauging it. And I'm like, man, well, he hasn't reached that. And he's the quarterback of the Patriots, and they went to the Super Bowl, and he was an MVP candidate. I don't know if he can get a Super Bowl win under his belt, an MVP. Then I think he elevates, and I think most people in this region, low key, subconsciously, are still comparing him to Tom Brady.
Do you think fans have given him a pass for his playoff performance? Have you given him a pass?
I did give him a pass, and I think age had a lot to do with it. I'm on the record for saying I wasn't sure. My heart wanted the Patriots to win the Super Bowl, absolutely, but I wasn't sure how him and other young individuals on that team were going to react in the spotlight, and they froze up. But because of that, I think a lot of people logically looked at it and said, all right, he's still young. Mm-hmm. They weren't supposed to be in this position to begin with.
Yep.
And they're giving him a pass. So is it, you know what? No, it is acceptable because we didn't see this happening with Drake May and the Patriots to begin with.
It's tough because he is young.
Yep.
He stunk.
Absolutely.
He was bad.
Yeah.
He was bad. And that doesn't mean he's going to be bad moving forward.
Right.
But don't we judge quarterbacks by how they play in the playoffs?
We judge quarterbacks, especially here, by what Tom Brady did.
Okay, because Tom Brady was excellent in the playoffs.
Exactly.
But don't we judge every quarterback in the NFL by what they do in the playoffs?
Yes, but
especially us here locally. I think everybody does, but especially here locally.
You're right, but it gets cloudy because they ended up in the Super Bowl. And people automatically give the quarterback credit for a team getting to the Super Bowl. Maybe not entirely, but partially. They'll be like, you know what? Hey, he's still the quarterback, and the quarterback is very, very special and needed in football. So if they got there, he most definitely had something to do with that.
Did he?
Not as much as we give him credit for.
In your opinion, how much was Drake May?
Let's just break it up into a nice, even 4-piece pie. I'd give him. He gets. I don't want to say. Can't get half.
No,
he's got to get a quarter. A quarter of the responsibility for this success. I think 50% has to go to the defense. Off the rip, 50%. That defense held it down, And then the other quarter, I'm gonna give it to the coaching staff. But you still need that quarter to make it a whole, to get to the Super Bowl. And they got there. He didn't perform well. He didn't perform well the entire playoff run. But yeah,
Does it scare you?
What's that?
That he had 4 playoff games and none of them were good?
No, not at all.
Because you look at the offensive line, you look at the other factors, and there were factors.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he got killed.
He did.
So I mean, I can't. I'm not putting it all on him,
Right.
but even if your offensive line's a sieve, and it was, you can't fumble 7 times in 4 games.
And the reason
you can't do it.
I think deep down in your heart, the reason why you're saying that partially is because you remember a quarterback who did it no matter who was on the field.
Right. So I'm judging him by an unfair standard, which is Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You're probably right about that.
Yeah.
Yes. But it also guides how I look at any quarterback. I mean, I look at Justin Herbert, who's been a great regular season quarterback and has stunk in the playoffs.
Yeah.
3 games. And I point at Herbert and I say, you're not the guy because you're bad in January. So then how can I then turn around and ignore Drake May being bad in January?
Because I think when you look at Herbert and you look at the talent surrounding him, especially you might give him an edge. No, you're going to give him an edge. We know what's up with the Patriots. We know that offensive line was
a wreck.
Boo-boo. It was a wreck. And so we know that plays a role in how Drake May is able to maneuver and do his thing and execute. No, he wasn't able to. But at the same time, Drake May has to take on some of that responsibility too.
Take some phone calls here. I've neglected all of you. I apologize. How about Stephen Carver, who's been waiting very patiently? Sorry about that, Steve.
Well, yeah, your opening segment, guys, was very apt. Visiting my parents, driving around Carver. I don't live here anymore, but I was near Giorgio's, Matt, and I pulled into the baseball fields. And it's true, my dad was not into sports. I fell in love with sports because of baseball on those Little League fields. And Matt, you, your dad, your brother were a big part of that. So
thanks, Steve.
I'm always grateful. Literally, the reason why I'm a sports fan was those days. I've always wanted to ask you, Matt, though, if you remember this. It's 2011. I'm in Babe Ruth Carver team versus Kingston. We're playing. You're the home umpire. We're like, man, we have some home cooking. We have a Carver umpire today.
No way.
It's a playoff game. Listen to this. You throw out our leadoff man and center fielder in the first inning of the game for arguing.
Yeah, I did.
A check swing. And then get this. We're down by only 3 or 4 runs, and you end the game early because it was the Bruins Stanley Cup. I think it was game 2. You say, there's not enough sunlight. There was plenty of sunlight, Matt. You screwed us out of the game because you wanted to go home and watch the Bruins. And you know what? I'm sure all the parents were on your side, but us teenagers were pissed. You screwed us to watch Vancouver.
Steve,
Yeah.
You know what? I remember this well because it's the only. I threw 2 players out in my history, and I remember throwing out your leadoff hitter. And I will say, your coach had no problem with me throwing out the leadoff hitter because
he loved it. He loved it.
Well,
he loved it.
He earned that one.
I think he said the magic word, right?
He sure did. It's the only time anybody ever said the magic. Always good to hear from you, Steve.
Were you dramatic when throwing him out? Or
I actually really wasn't.
Really?
I really wasn't.
You didn't wind up and put the foot up and then point, get him out.
I'm not gonna show up some kid. He's a 14-year-old kid.
Okay.
But Coach Canchard had no problem with it. He heard what he said too. He's like, yeah, all right. Me ending the game due to sunlight, though, I did pull that a number of times. Yeah, now we gotta go. League rules say 145. You're right. That was game 2. Thomas screwed the pooch at the end of that one. Yeah.
I wonder how many times that happens in professional sports, where the officials or the refs or whatever are like, I got something to do.
Get the hell out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Nobody pulled we got to get the hell out of here move than me. I'm still a wanted man in Wareham for some umpiring escapades back in the day. Left that game in full gear. Didn't take my gear off. I thought they were coming after me. Those parents were rough.
That's hilarious.
It's never the kids.
Never.
Hey, Steve calling me 15 years later being like, dude, it's never the kids, though. I didn't hear from any of the kids, but the parents?
Yeah. I remember being at my son's Pop Warner football game. He played for the Boston Bengals. I believe my son hit a kid on the other team, and the mother came on the field and took her son off the field because he got hit hard. And she was going off. I said, this is unbelievable. Parents, we got to do better.
You have to. Well, on that note, let's go to break.
Okay.
You can call in if you've still got beef for me 15 years ago. Always good to hear from Steve. 617-779-098. His grandfather was the nicest man, if I remember correctly. Just really into it. That was like one of the grandparents are always the best ones at the sporting events.
Yeah.
They're
it's a second chance at doing better than what they did with their own kids. And doing better doesn't mean they were bad. It's just trying to, maybe I could have done this a little bit better, improved here a little bit better. So when you're a grandparent, you're just a little bit more laid back.
Apparently, my grandfather said if he knew how awesome being a grandparent was, he would have done it first.
Oh, wow. Because then he gets to send them home, too. He doesn't have to. Yeah.
Good gig. Good gig if you can get it. We'll continue. It's Matt McCarthy, Leroy Irvin on Leroy and Cerrone here on the Sports Hub.
More Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on the way. and Cerrone on the sport.
I'm still laughing that we're going with the Leroy and Cerrone show. I had no idea. But I appreciate it, and I appreciate your positive words. Matt, you have been one of the most, and I'm not saying this, I don't kiss behind. You have been one of the most encouraging, positive, and just overall, you have been a joy to work with. Just wonderful person.
Tell that to the kid I ran in that Carver-Kingston Babe Ruth game 15 years ago.
Hey, well, listen. See, we didn't play that. We didn't play this, I'm going to be soft about something. No. If you laced them up, we're going to call the game as we see it. If I get an opportunity to be a ref, I don't care if it's my own child. If you're out, you're out. If it's not a foul, it's not a foul. If you fouled, you fouled. That's part of the game. Get familiar.
617-779-0985. How about John and Tanya? Hey, John.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. I think the Red Sox, they ran out of pitching in the playoffs last year, and they've always had tough midseason trade deadlines. I think they're built for the trade deadline. They're going to have excess pitching, and there are going to be teams getting rid of a bat that's expensive, and they're all going to be desperate for pitching. So I'm hoping that that's their plan, and if we're in it halfway through the season, I think we can be in it till the end.
John, I'm with you on that. It takes pitchers to get deals done in baseball. The Red Sox have, as you said, you never have an excess of pitching because you can never have too much pitching. But if you want to get a deal done in baseball, you better have a young pitcher that you're going to trade. And which makes it even more criminal that the Red Sox didn't get any pitchers for Mookie Betts. But that's just the way it is. It's the way it is in that sport.
So how much time do you need to see the Red Sox play this season before you start saying, all right, listen, trade deadline comes up, they should do X, Y, and Z?
Now?
Really?
One game? They need a right-handed bat. So, that is the number one need at the trading deadline. I have a hard time believing it will be anything different than that. The season plays out in different ways. Guys get hurt, guys emerge, some guys struggle. You can never truly predict what's going to happen with the 26-man roster. I am comfortable, though, in saying, Leroy, that when we get to the trading deadline, it's going to be, right-handed infield bat. Because I don't know if Caleb Durbin is it. I'll put it to you that way. How about Al in Dorchester? Thanks for hanging on, Al.
How you doing, guys?
What's up?
I just wanted to get back to the point you guys were talking about the Red Sox offense. And the way I see it is this. The first thing is that pitching is everything. That's the foundation of you winning. In a postseason, it's pitching, defense, and timely hitting. I think what has to happen is you need to be able to identify what your offense is and operate off that offense. And if you don't have enough offense, which they demonstrated, and that was one game, manufacture runs. They bunted the ball over yesterday, got the run to the third, got a base hit. The run came in, and then the rest is history. But that's what you have to do, because in the postseason, you can have an Aaron Judge, but look at his numbers in the postseason.
They stink.
They're not good. Jackie Bradley Jr. was the MVP of the ALCS. His average is horrendous,
right,
but he had timely hits to get him there.
Yeah, Al, I think you make a good point. Sometimes your lineup can be greater than the sum of its parts. And I don't rule that out happening with this Red Sox lineup this year. A guy like Cedar Rafaela is along those lines. He's not a great hitter, but he's a good timely hitter. Carlos Narvaez is not, nobody's going to confuse him with Mike Piazza, but he turns in really competitive, quality, professional at-bats. Just because you bat 250 doesn't mean you're the worst hitter on planet Earth.
Well, is that approach something that you're willing to bet on and trust?
I will say this. There's no power in this lineup, but I do think they have a bunch of guys who put their bat on the ball, which is worth something, and it's always been worth something, and I think we don't place enough value on in the modern day game. I don't know where the power is coming from. That's a problem. And asking Caleb Durbin to be a 5 or a 6 hitter is asking too much of him. But if he were your 8 hitter and he's going to, put his bat on the ball and move the runner over and play good defense, there's a lot to be said for that. They're just missing the big bopper. They're missing, the real impact middle of the order bat. So if you do acquire something like that at the trading deadline, all of a sudden the rest of the lineup fits. A player like Durbin makes a lot more sense on a team where you're not asking him to be more than he can be. And that's my concern with this Red Sox lineup is they're going to ask more of these guys than we should be asking of them. But in the end, is Cedar Rafaela, if he's at the bottom of your order and is going to put, a couple big swings on the ball, throughout the year and play good defense, like that's a good baseball player. You just don't expect him to be your 5-hitter.
I just looked this up, and please correct me, Matt, if I'm wrong. So basically, we're saying that with the Red Sox, offensively, small ball might be the approach, right?
Yes. Okay. Small ball, run the bases, yes.
So I looked up Major League Baseball teams that technically played small ball and won the World Series. It says 2015 Kansas City Royals and the 2002 Anaheim Angels. Mm-hmm. To me,
it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time. And why, as a fan, if I want to see the Red Sox succeed and become World Series champs, why should I be positive about that?
If you doubt it, I don't blame you.
Okay.
It's not the style of play they've ever played. I mean, Red Sox historically have been, forever. The big bopper in the middle of the lineup. They've always had that guy, and he's always been the left fielder. I mean, it's just
2012 San Francisco Giants, while known for pitching, they won the 2012 World Series utilizing small ball techniques.
They did. The Giants in 10, 12, 14 did that. The Royals in 15 did that. That's also over a decade ago now in baseball. I don't know if that works as much. I would also say, too, and you're going to see this with Rafael Devers in San Francisco. I don't know if that's a great spot for Devers. That is a pitcher's ballpark. It might be, the biggest pitcher's ballpark in baseball. The wind whips around there.
There's not enough sunlight.
There's definitely not a lot of sunlight there at times. I mean, you got that right. It can get a little foggy there by the bay. And left center is, you hit the ball to left center at San Francisco, it goes to die there. And that's where Rafael Devers' power is. So I don't know if having the big bopper in San Francisco works. They had Barry Bonds, but he was juiced out of his mind. They also never won with Barry Bonds. They won by playing small ball. Let's have a bunch of guys who are going to slap the ball into the gap and let's run for days and let's pitch and catch the ball. The Red Sox are kind of built in the same way. It's like, we're going to pitch, we're going to catch the ball, and we're going to slap the ball around because we don't have any hitters. That doesn't really work at Fenway Park, though. Like at Fenway Park, you want guys who are going to pepper the wall. You want guys with legit power to take the ball out to right field. Left-handed hitters, who have legitimate pop to take the ball in that direction. Righties, you want the big fat-ass righty who can go over there and just pop it over the wall. And then you want a couple of, lefties and righties who are just going to line the ball off the wall. Like that's Fenway Park baseball. They're not really built for Fenway Park, which might be the thing that comes back to bite them. Where is the right-handed power hitter? It's just not on the roster. So if they're expecting Caleb Durbin to be that because you put him at Fenway, I just don't know if that really makes a lot of sense. How about John in Foxborough? Hey, John.
What's going on, guys? The Drake May slander makes me sick. That playoff run was great, dude. He's 3-1 as a starter. Who would you have had on the who can quarterback that Patriots team out of any NFL quarterback and had a better playoff run?
A lot of them. Sam Darnold, Matt Stafford.
Yeah, so you put Sam Darnold on the Patriots. He's going to do what he did this year? Like, you've got to stop at that. He's played more NFL games than he did in his college career. He's a year younger than Brady was when Brady won his first Super Bowl.
So you're telling me that Sam Darnold would not have beaten Jarrett Stidham and C.J. Stroud?
I don't think Zach Charbonnet's tripping over himself and missing a handoff, and then Sam Darnold's taking it himself. Like, that doesn't happen to that Seahawks team.
I guess we'll agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, at the same time...
Darnold sucked in the Super Bowl, too. The problem was Drake May was way worse.
We've acknowledged that he was an MVP candidate, and he absolutely deserved it. And we've acknowledged that there were issues on the offensive side, especially with the offensive line. Okay, we've acknowledged that. But at the end of the day... And I'll just take you remove all that we just said. I saw a young man who just so happened to be a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, a little bit rushed. Yes, that has to do with his surrounding pieces, but I just wanted him to be a little bit more composed. He could get rid of the ball sometimes. He could not hold on to the ball too long sometimes. that you got to take that into consideration. No one's saying he's terrible. No one's saying he's bad. But he did not perform. He could have performed better in the playoffs.
And that's my problem with that call, is you say Drake May fumbled the ball 7 times in 4 games and people don't want to hear it. And it's just like, well, he's perfect kind of thing. Like, there is a little bit of that. We're a little bit too protective of him. And I get it, because he had a tremendous season. Second in the MVP voting, and I mean he is young, and you should be very excited about Drake May. How could you not be? But we just shouldn't ignore the fact, and that he wasn't good in the playoffs. He wasn't. 7 fumbles, 4 picks in 4 games. That's not good, and that's bad, really bad. And if you played any better quarterbacks along the way, you don't make it to the Super Bowl because Drake May kept turning the ball over left and right. If you play any other quarterback than C.J. Stroud in that divisional game, you don't win that game because Drake May kept putting the ball on the ground.
I could almost guarantee you that during the offseason, you know what one of the major things he's going to be working on?
Not fumbling.
Yes, which includes, hey, if it's not there, it's okay to get rid of the ball.
Take the sack.
I understand at the same time, part of the reason why he was able to push that ball downfield and get big plays is because he trusts and believes in his talent, and he is very, very talented. But there are moments, and they showed up especially in the playoffs, where it's okay to take the sack, throw the ball away. You don't have to force it, and he was doing that. And that's part of why people are saying, you know what? He didn't really play that well in the playoffs. I agree with that, but he can also he can get better. And I'm telling you, watch next season. If he's working on what he should be working on, one of the things is going to be protecting the ball. And sometimes that means taking the sack. We saw that with Tom Brady. I hate bringing Tom Brady up, but there were times it just looked like, oh, it's not there. I'm going down. Oh, there's defenders pulling on my jersey. We saw this with Drake May. Hands were on him. He still would force it, or still the fumble would happen instead of just going down. It's a small thing, but if he does that, I think if he were doing that the past playoffs, I think they would have had a better chance of winning in the Super Bowl. And he would have had a better performance throughout the playoffs.
4 fumbles and a pick?
Yeah.
In a single playoff game, and you managed to win the game?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great. I'm glad they did. I mean, C.J. Stroud was worse in that game, but I can't ignore that. I can't ignore the pick he threw in the Super Bowl down 2 scores at midfield with 9 minutes to play, which was inexcusable. I mean, and it's not just me. I mean, Collinsworth was, for the first time ever, speechless. How do you make Chris Collinsworth speechless? That's it's bad when Collinsworth looks at it and says, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. He's going to be better. Oh, yeah. He's going to be better. Trust.
I don't think he can be much worse. I really don't. I mean, you could be C.J. Stroud, which he's not. He's not that. But C.J. Stroud, I guess, would be and I don't say this because I think he's C.J. Stroud, but just in fairness, just to play devil's advocate, people love C.J. Stroud after year 1. He was the next big thing, wasn't he? And now, I mean, find me a single, Patriots fan who would want C.J. Stroud.
It's true.
Or a single anybody who would want C.J. Stroud. If I'm in Houston, I'm panicking about C.J. Stroud. So I'm not saying he's going to be that. My concern would be that you turn him into Joe Burrow and you keep getting him hurt because your offensive line's a sieve. I mean, I do worry about that. And the number of hits he's taken, that's my biggest concern with him. Just the number of hits he's taken in the first few years.
Right.
But number 2 on the list is playoff performance. I mean, I can't ignore what my eyes saw because it wasn't good. 617-779-0985. How about Roger in Revere? Hey, Roger.
Hey, guys, long time no talk. I have 4 real quick points, and then I'll hang up and listen.
Okay.
Everybody has to stop crying about Drake May playing in Tom Brady's shadow. Kyle Yastrzemski played in Ted Williams' shadow. Ray Bork played in Orr's shadow. And if I was Tiger Woods, I'd sign a contract with the Patriots, and Kraft will make it all go away. Lastly, Leroy.
Yes, sir.
It's Dr. Frankie, not Dr. Frenchie.
I said Frenchie? Thank you for the correction.
Was that Dr. Frankie himself?
Let me
Love
see.
Dr. Frankie. Boston Prolotherapy.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Yeah, okay, whatever.
No, that was the soccer game that was played here on Thursday, which, by the way, was awesome. It was a great environment. Really one of the cooler sporting events I've been to in a while.
Was it packed?
It was packed.
All the way.
I think they said attendance was 66,000 and the capacity is, 68?
Yeah.
Which is, I would say the place was 98% full.
How did the field look? It's grass.
Beautiful.
You think they're going to keep it? Are they going to keep it for the Patriots?
I'd love it if they kept it for football. If football's better on natural grass,
yeah,
I'd love it. I don't think they will because it's too much to maintain.
And were the Gillette signs down? And it was the Boston.
I wasn't paying attention to that.
Boston Stadium or whatever they're calling.
No, I don't think those signs would be down yet because I think FIFA takes over in May. So I don't think they would take that down. I mean, this was not done in conjunction with the World Cup. It's an international window for soccer because over the course of last week and early this week is when the final qualifying games for the World Cup are played. They've still got 5 or 6 spots that need to be determined. So all the other teams, most of the leagues are on break. So it's a tune-up window. It's an exhibition window. So I think the signs are still there because it's not FIFA's property yet. Soon FIFA will come over.
You weren't walking the tracks to get to the game like many were.
I was not walking the tracks. I was walking a normal route up Route 1, like everybody else.
Yeah. How was traffic leaving?
Wasn't that bad.
Really?
Well, we parked in a lot, little down. Getting out of there wasn't a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, hotel lot south of.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy or?
No, it wasn't that.
Oh.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
You know what it's like. Everybody has their preferred lot down there. This was recommended to me. I normally just park in P11 like the schlub that I am. But it was told to me, like, no, drop the money, park here, southbound side of Route 1 at the hotel there.
Yep.
Like, we'll get out easy. And sure enough, we got out just fine.
Wow.
Pulled right out into Route 1, not a problem. Wasn't that far of a walk. I'm start doing that more often.
I'm concerned when the games really start to count. I'm concerned about that. Oh, my God.
Yeah. A lot of, so did you hear?
$75 for a ticket for the commuter rail?
Did you see what FIFA's going to charge for parking?
No.
It's like $175.
Oh, my God.
I don't feel good about FIFA coming to the region. I'll put it to you that way. Those criminals.
$175?
See the ticket prices for this thing?
No.
I was looking the other day. Like, get in is $2 grand.
Oh, my God.
Which can't be. It's all corporate. Everything about this is corporate. There's no way those tickets are sold at $2 grand. No way. So I'm going to wait it out. Trust me. I'm a soccer guy. I would love to go to a World Cup match this summer. I'm going to wait it out.
You know what they're probably thinking?
See if the market creators, or if somebody's very kind to give me a ticket, that would be pretty awesome too.
International competition. I just saw the Olympics. I just saw the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, I'm gonna put them prices up too because y'all know this is where it's at. This is the type of energy you want to be.
It's
around.
the biggest sporting event in the world, and dude, the energy the other day for an exhibition, was off the charts. It was awesome. It was one of the coolest sporting events I've been to in a long time.
And the Red Sox were playing, and you passed.
I did
to go to that.
I don't know if I'll ever get to see Mbappe play live. It might be my only chance, based on the World Cup prices this summer, and France is going to be here. It's like I want to see Mbappe play, and I don't regret the decision one bit. I went home, had the game DVR'd, watched through it. It was great. It was. Seriously, if you were there, I think everybody had an absolute blast. It really was an awesome event. And if I'm lucky enough to go and you're lucky enough to go this summer, that's going to be electric. It's the best sporting event in the world. It really is.
I think I'm all set. I'll watch it from home. Enjoy it from home. And yeah, I'm not dealing with the traffic because I used to work at Gillette.
Oh, yeah.
And I know,
But here's the thing. We know, the locals know. This is an international event. Folks, they think they're going to Boston Stadium.
Yeah. They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
France didn't know.
Jeez.
Apparently, they hit traffic, and they're like, we got here about an hour and 15 minutes before the game. France had no idea.
Oh, my God.
Nobody bothered to tell Didier Deschamps that you need to leave a little early. Bill O'Brien can't figure out how to get here on time with the Houston Texans. You think France can get here on time?
No. And then they said the people when leaving
France couldn't get to the Maginot Line in time, let alone.
They said people were using GPS and it was taking them on side streets, which was just causing more havoc.
Yeah.
I'm all set. God bless. I know a lot of people want to support their country, and I think that's great. I can't deal with the traffic.
We'll continue. It's Matt McCarthy and Leroy Irvin on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Leroy and Cerrone on the Sports Hub. Hub. Now, Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Worcester, number 21, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Roger Clemens.
Great Ben DeCastro, PA at Worcester. Roger Clemens throwing out the first pitch yesterday in Worcester, which brought something to my mind, Leroy.
Okay.
This year is going to mark 30 years since Roger Clemens struck out 20. It's going to mark 40 years since Roger Clemens struck out 20. And at the end of the year, it'll mark 30 years since Roger Clemens left. It was in the twilight of his career. You know how many times a Red Sox player has worn 21 since Roger Clemens left?
Guessing never.
0.
Wow.
They have not given out the number in 30 years. Why is his number not up on the facade? Retire the number. Which brings me to this question. Who should be the next Boston athlete to have their number retired? And to me, the answer is Roger Clemens. It is long overdue. I get it. He went to the Yankees. Wade Boggs did too. His number's up there. I get it. He took steroids.
Yeah, buddy.
He was in the Mitchell Report.
Yeah, buddy.
He lied about it. Andy Pettit misremembered all of that. He took the juice. David Ortiz was juiced too. And you put his number up there. Oh, but he didn't win in Boston. Neither did Ted Williams, Joe Cronin,
Boggs,
Johnny Pesky, Wade Boggs, Carl Yastrzemski, Bobby Dorr, Jim Rice, Carlton Fisk.
Splendid Splinter.
8 of the, 10 numbers up there? Never won. It's time. It's overdue. Retire it.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember when the whole steroids thing hit Major League Baseball. Roger Clemens' name came up, and it was almost as if he was the face of it.
He was
one of the
it.
faces.
Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds were the face of it.
And I think that, and you said, remember, he lied. I think that is what's keeping his number from being retired here. Because you've made a perfectly good argument on why it should be. And I'm not saying that it's right, but when you think about steroids, I don't think about David Ortiz. I don't.
Why not?
Because I think
he was juiced out of his mind. Manny was juiced out of his mind. They all were.
Okay, so there's several reasons. And I'm not saying this is right. It's because they won.
Yep.
We gave them a pass. And I think by that time, caring about it kind of slowed down. When Clemens' name was mentioned, it was like fresh. It was, oh my God, they're ruining the game. Oh my God, this is terrible. Take them all off, blah, blah, blah.
Congressional hearings,
yes.
all that.
And so that right there, I think, plays a major, major role. When I think of steroids, I think of Mark McGwire. I think of Jose Canseco. I think of Barry Bonds. I think of Roger Clemens.
They are, at this point, unfairly painted.
Yep.
And unfairly burdened with being the faces of the steroid era, because there are a whole bunch of other guys who were on their level or very close to it who also were juicing and just didn't get branded that way. You know, Mark McGwire was a national hero, and then he gets called up to testify in front of Congress, and he says, I'm not here to talk about the past. And that was it. It was done. He was done for. Sammy Sosa was done for. All of those guys were done for. Rafael Palmeiro, I did not take steroids, period. Pops a steroid test, done for. David Ortiz ends up on a list where a lot of guys are on a list, and we just ignore it.
Yep.
There are guys in the Hall of Fame. Mike Piazza was juicing. You see Jeff Bagwell with the size of his biceps juicing.
Yep.
Gentleman Jim Thome, who was drafted as a shortstop. See the way his body changed over the years?
Yeah.
Oh, but Jim Thome would never do steroids. Never, ever. I'm sure he was juicing too. All of those guys were juicing, yet it really honestly became a PR game. And the ones who lost the PR game, and Clemens didn't handle it right. Of course he didn't handle it right. You know, the 60 Minutes thing was embarrassing. But enough is enough. We've got steroid guys up there. We've got Yankees up there. We've got losers up there. If that's and that's a harsh term, right? Guys who never won a World Series. What's the argument at this point? Put his number up there. 21. Do it.
About 49. I
love Wakefield. We all love Wakefield. No. But who should? Like, I mean, Clemens is my obvious answer. So, like, next athlete in Boston sports to go out there. Who's
franchise stats? Yeah.
Who's the number?
The rightful answer is probably Dustin Pedroia. Especially if he does make it to the Hall.
And this is across all sports.
Okay.
All Boston sports.
No, I'll have to reset the thoughts then to see if there's any Patriots. I mean, and football is kind of weird because usually they don't really.
Would you retire 87? I'd retire 87.
Yeah, 15 though for the Red Sox. Pedroia, I think, is another one. That's probably more realistic than the Clemens and the Wakefield.
They'll put Pedroia up there if he gets in the Hall of Fame. Which I'm not convinced he's a Hall of Famer, but
okay. I got a question though. If you retire Gronk's 87, is that a slap in the? Not a slap, but does somebody like Ben Coates feel funny about it because that was his number?
He shouldn't.
Really?
He shouldn't. And I love Ben Coates. I mean, that's my era. I mean, if you're of a certain age, Ben Coates is the man.
And underappreciated, right?
Totally underappreciated. Ben Coates, Mo Vaughn. If you're of my age, that is. I mean, you want to talk dirty to me? Mention the name Ben Coates. But no, Rob Gronkowski is the greatest tight end in the history of football. So, yeah, I would retire 87. Or maybe, to be totally honest, maybe it's just 12 that you retire. Because retiring numbers in football is not really a thing.
I have another athlete, and I'm trying to figure out why I don't want his number retired, even though his peers have their number retired. Ray Allen.
Based on who the Celtics have retired numbers for, Ray Allen should be up there. We obviously haven't mentioned the obvious one. The next number that probably will be retired is Patrice Bergeron.
Okay, yeah, got you. Yeah.
And because we haven't even gotten to the Bruins part of this, would you retire 63? Would you retire Marchand's number? I would.
Yes.
Based on the Bruins standards, Marchand's number should be up there.
Right.
From that era, it should be Chara, Bergeron, Marchand. That's it. We stop at Krejci. I wouldn't put Krejci up there.
I wouldn't put Krejci either. Yeah, it's something you just have to let go. If we would have won a second cup, in 19, then maybe we'll have the discussion. But yeah, 46, I don't think so.
When it comes to the Pats, after Gronk, is there anybody else? Edelman?
No, because that's Bledsoe's number too. See, the football is just different.
You have like Cowboys 88 from Michael Irvin still being worn down the line. So it's just different for football.
Yeah. This really is a discussion mostly about Red Sox, Celtics, and Bruins. But would you put Allen's number up there? I would.
My gut says no, and that's why I'm like, why?
Why? Because he went and played for the Heat?
I want Rondo's number.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
let's not go that far.
So KG is up. He spent not the same amount of time, but pretty close. They achieved a lot together, but I think KG's up there because he was the emotional leader. Mm-hmm. Okay. Paul Pierce, obviously, he
great,
belongs
all-time
up there.
great
He belongs
Celtic.
up there, period. I can't quite figure out why I don't want to see Ray Allen's number go up there.
You're still mad because he left for Miami.
Maybe that's it. I don't.
See, I don't hold that against these guys anymore. You can't hold the Yankee thing against Clemens. You can't do it.
And Ray Allen,
freaking Wade Boggs' number up there. Who's clamoring for that?
That's true. And with Ray Allen, I don't feel like he embraced, and I'm not saying this is a good reason. He didn't feel like a Bostonian. Even though I know Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce aren't from here, something about them felt like, they've made a connection with Boston. I didn't get that from Ray Allen.
We'll get to your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Brown and Tatum, I would say, are trending towards number retirement, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We'll get into Jaylen Brown's injury as well coming up. We'll continue. Matt McCarthy and Leroy Irvin on the Sports Hub.
Stay tuned for more from Leroy and Cerrone on the Sports Hub. for sports. WBC FM and HD Boston. I love this team. 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, let's see. Tiger Woods, 15-time major champ, was arrested yesterday on suspicion of DUI after crashing his car in Florida. He's now out on bail. No JB, but Peyton Pritchard scored 36 points to lead the Celtics to the 109-102 victory over the Hawks. Jason Tatum scored 26 points and grabbed 12 rebounds. The Celtics will get back at it tomorrow when they take on the Hornets. Men's college basketball, Duke over St. John's, 80-75. Michigan over Alabama, 90-77. UConn over Michigan State, 67-63. Tennessee over Iowa State, 76-62. Tonight, Iowa and Illinois at 6:09. Purdue, Arizona at 8:49. Women's college basketball, Notre Dame over Vanderbilt, 67-64. UConn over North Carolina, 63-42. UCLA over Minnesota, 80-56. And Duke beat LSU, 87-85. Today, you had Michigan over Louisville, 71-52. Kentucky and Texas is going on right now. Texas is up 48-26. Oklahoma, South Carolina at 5. Virginia, TCU at 7:30. And the WNBA reports are the Connecticut Sun have been sold for $300 million and will be moving after this upcoming season to Houston. Red Sox and Reds this afternoon at 4:10. Sonny Gray is scheduled to get the start for the Sox, and the Bruins will face off against the Wild at 5. Catch all the action right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub starting at 4:30. The Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Valvoline. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change. Add Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
You actually coaching the game, or it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports Hub. Two local guys, lots of local sports talk. Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Jalen is out with Achilles tendonitis. What can you say about what he's dealing with and kind of his prognosis?
He's day to day. He's in today getting treatment. Day to day.
Do you have any sense on a timeline? Like, is this something that could keep him out multiple games?
He's day to day.
So yes.
So day to day. Yes, I think that's the timeline.
Aren't we all? Tell me about it.
It's the way it goes day to day, according to Joe Mazzulla. I'm worried about this.
Really?
Yeah. Achilles tendonitis, dude. That's not typical NBA load management. He's just not going to play tonight. He doesn't feel like it. We're not going to, take this game too seriously coming off the Thunder game on Wednesday. No. Achilles tendonitis is not something they put down on the injury report for NBA load management.
Okay. I'm not worried at all.
That's that's a sore thigh, a bum knee, whatever it is. No.
Code.
You're not worried after watching Jason Tatum, who was dealing with a calf injury leading up to his, Achilles rupture last year. You're not worried after watching the best player on your team blow his Achilles in a playoff game. Now the second best player on the team and your best player this year has Achilles tendonitis, and that doesn't scare you?
No, it doesn't scare me at all for two reasons. Number one, I do think there is, and you got to admit, there's got to be a hint of just, taking it, being precautious. If this were the playoffs, he would be playing. That's my belief. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, I don't know about you, I'm going to wait until JB says something on his podcast. And when he goes live. When I see that, okay, I'll be like, you know what? He might have a point. Wasn't he at the soccer game too?
Yeah, if you've got a sore Achilles, that you can, we're not amputating.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, that's going to affect you on the basketball court.
I'm not worried at all.
I'm 35, I've got to bum everything. I managed to walk my way, up and down Route 1 for the soccer game. Yeah, but I don't think because Jaylen Brown attended the soccer game doesn't mean he doesn't have an Achilles injury.
All I'm saying is Jaylen Brown himself, not all players are like this, but Jaylen Brown has set himself up, has a platform where if he wants to talk about it, he will. If it's serious, he will. And since he hasn't, because he's talked about a lot of things, and since he hasn't, I'm just like, you know what? All right, there's some tendonitis. All right, he'll be okay.
You think he's going to talk about a serious injury?
Well, especially
he's going to try to play through it eventually.
Right. But I think because he has been so transparent about a lot of things, and since it's now out in the public, I wouldn't be shocked the next time he goes on live or he does his podcast or whatever that he speaks on it. I can almost guarantee he's probably going to say, you know what, guys, it's nothing really, that serious. Just trying to be, precautious. We're getting towards the playoffs. Just want to make sure that I'm 100%. But if the playoffs were to start today, I would be playing and I wouldn't be worried.
So I'll base this on my just my sense from Grandy's interview last night with Joe Mazzulla, or leading into the interview, and Grandy and Max talking about it, and Grandy's tied in. He said, "No, this is real." So okay, he has a real Achilles injury. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean you ice it for a week and you're fine?
Right.
Or does that mean that the Achilles is a little bit weaker, which is the concern, right? That's when you start hearing about lingering calf injuries, that then leads to an Achilles injury. When you start hearing about Achilles tendonitis, that sometimes can lead to something not good at all. And it's sports PTSD, but we just went through this 10 months ago.
Right.
I don't want to go through that again, so I'm worried.
But I think that plays a huge role in it, too. Yeah,
sure, it does.
We did just go through this with Jason Tatum. So that's going to be the first thing on your mind. Oh, God, is this going to happen to Jaylen Brown? So when who you said Grandy said it's real?
It's real.
Did he go into depth what that meant? See, that's my thing.
Okay, but he's not going to come out. He can't come out and say.
Then why say it's real if you can't tell us a little bit more?
So you don't. Are you saying you don't believe the report that it's real?
No. Okay. If Grandy said it, I believe it. But what I'm saying is I'm not sure if real means he's going to be out for a while or real means, yeah, there is something there, but don't worry about it type of situation. I don't know which one is which. I would love to know.
They're not going to tell us that. Nobody's going to tell us that because in the end, you do have to conceal severity of injuries if you're going to try and eventually play through it. And there's a competitive reason for that. So all I know is their best player is dealing with Achilles tendonitis. And anytime I hear the word Achilles,
I wonder how long
a little shudder goes up my spine.
I wonder how long he's been dealing with it.
He did just hit the 65 games.
Exactly. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, man, you can fall back a little bit. You hit the mark. I'm telling you, it's going to probably come out during his podcast or next time he goes live. Just pay attention to that.
Something to keep an eye on for sure. You're on the phone with everything. We'll go to you at 617-779-0985. How about Steve in Medford? Hey, Steve.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Just wanted to touch base on a couple things you guys have been talking about. With Drake May, I think his body's built, a little bit better than guys like, Joe Burrow. He's a solid dude. Mm-hmm. He can, when he gets those hits, it's going to take a toll. But as you guys were talking about, solidifying the offensive line is something that's huge. But if you look back at the Super Bowl, you had an injured left tackle, you had an injured May, and there was no help, no chip in, no nothing, and it was just free fire on him. You know what I mean? So some of the game planning had to be a little bit better in that situation also.
Absolutely.
I don't put as much of that on McDaniels. In
Really?
the end, what are you going to do if your left tackle can't block anybody? Really? And by the way, your tight end can't block. So they got their asses kicked in the Super Bowl because they were nowhere near Seattle's talent. I don't. In the end, I don't put much of that on the coaching staff because what are you going to do? They were a way better team. And your left tackle was hurt. Your quarterback was hurt. Your quarterback had not played well in the playoffs. Scheme it up better? Okay. What happens if you scheme it up better? You get your ass kicked.
Yeah, still.
Because you weren't on their level.
And the game was too big, I believe, for Drake May. He just
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is just anecdotal gut feeling. That interview right before it didn't look right. little, I don't know, nervous. I mean, I would be too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
exactly.
He never settled into the game, though. I mean, the sideline report was Melissa Stark had the sideline report that Mike Vrabel went over to Drake May and said, "You're good. Remember that.
Wow.
You're good."
Wow.
I don't want my coach having to remind my quarterback in the biggest game that he's good and he's a good player. Like which goes to show where he was, where his mindset was, because he had obviously gotten the crap beaten out of him. I mean, for 4 weeks, and he had not played well, and it compounded. That's human nature, but that was a little scary. How about Tony in Worcester? Hi, Tony.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
I think Clemens needs to be on, and I think he's going to be on. They're going to retire his number because last night I was at the Polar Park opening day, and they brought Clemens out with a Red Sox shirt, and he threw out the opening, the first pitch to Rich Gedman. They were talking about the 20 strikeout game that they had together. And, Rich Gedman was their first coach here in Worcester. And, and it was obviously a big thing about Clemens. They had him signing up, not signing autographs, but photos. They had lines of people lined up to have a picture taken with Roger, like a meet and shoot or whatever they call it.
Yeah, so you're saying he's being let back into the family, which has been going on for many years now. Roger's done a ton of stuff with the Jimmy Fund. Every year he gives, it would honestly be pretty awesome. He throws BP, like he does like an auction.
Dope. Yeah.
And like he'll go to Fenway Park, like you buy 90 minutes of batting practice with Roger Clemens.
Wow.
All for the Jimmy Fund.
Wow.
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, to face the Rocket, like do BP at Fenway Park. I mean, so he's been doing that stuff for a long time now. He's been in the broadcast booth. He's boys with Castig. I mean, a million times. I actually think they are doing like a bobblehead night or whatever, commemorating the 20 strikeout games. I mean, pick which one, the 30 years ago or 40 years ago. So this is the year. This is the time.
Wow.
There's a Saturday night in May where they're doing that. That would be the night.
You can feel it. They might do it.
I'm going to get tickets to that game. I want them to announce that they're 21. It should be on the facade.
Can I mention another Red Sox that I'm just wondering?
Sure.
Maybe they shouldn't get their number retired, but I'm still trying to figure out why they don't get the love around here like they should. So Pedro Martinez has his number retired, right?
Yes, rightfully so.
He spent 7 seasons with the Red Sox?
Best pitcher in franchise history.
Yes, absolutely. What's wrong with Manny? Can someone 7 seasons?
Steroids.
Yeah, but we just come on. We're talking Clemens.
I do
We're
it
talking
too.
Ortiz. What's the problem with Manny?
Not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's tested positive 3 times.
He got popped the way McGuire and Palmeiro did, unfortunately.
Did also assault the traveling secretary, which wasn't great.
Okay, yeah.
Leading to the greatest take in the history of 98.5, the Sports Hub, Billy Lanny. My father would have gotten him the tickets. And it was all Jack McCormick's fault. Still cracks me up to this day. But yeah, that's kind of the same thing. Rich and Lynn. Nice. Hi, Rich.
How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up?
Good. Ray Allen has a weird spot in Celtics for me, like just compared to Pierce and Garnett. I really think it's the emotional part connected to the fans. And I really don't take the leaving to go to Miami thing, to be the reason why I wouldn't retire his number. But I never really felt like he was a true Celtic. Like Garnett with the emotion, pumping the crowd up, had that connection with all of us when we were all younger. Like that's memories like just that you don't forget. You know what I mean? And the other guy that I think is Adam Vinatieri. His number, besides Brady, even more than Gronk. Without Vinatieri, you don't have Super Bowls.
Thanks, Rich.
I didn't think about that.
It's worthy of consideration. Joey in Kingston. Joey.
Hey, gentlemen.
Joey, I gotta put you on hold. Your phone's just not in a great spot. Jay's in Dorchester. Hey, Jay.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Just want to say, I hope the Jaylen Brown thing is like a load management thing. No Mazzulla, Belichick Jr. He's not going to give us everything, but I kind of hope that once the playoffs start, we can run a push because unfortunately, Cade Cunningham is out with that injury, so it's like the most healthiest team in the playoffs is going to run that push. So I hope we got it. Cade is playing good. We'll get Vucevic back.
Yes.
I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, but just go on a strong, healthy run, and I hope you guys have a blessed day, and you guys have a good day.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. I don't think this is a they're just messing with things. That's the same type of call we got leading up to the Super Bowl. Oh no, Drake May's not hurt. No, he's not hurt. This reporting, no, it's BS. Oh, the fact that he's on the injury report, no, he's not hurt. And then after the game, we all admit that he's hurt. He's got something going on. I get it. You don't want him to be hurt, and I understand that that's where fans go. I hope it's just gamesmanship. Grandy said it's real last night, for whatever that is. But everything else I agreed with.
This is why we have technology. I'm just looking up. Oh, okay. Let's see. How long does it take for Achilles tendonitis to heal?
Yep.
And according to the good old internet, Achilles tendonitis typically takes 2 to 6 weeks to heal for mild cases. Hopefully he has a mild case. If it's a moderate case, it takes 6 to 12 weeks. And severe chronic cases, 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. What level?
What is it?
Yeah.
We all hope it's minor. There's something there, and we just hope it's very minor.
See, now y'all gonna get me all panicking and whatnot. Now my anxiety's going through the roof.
Dude, Achilles don't throw that around just for load management, just to get everybody off the trail of it. Well,
Matt, wouldn't they say it's moderate Achilles tendonitis or severe?
This is the Celtics, Leroy. They're still saying Kevin Garnett's coming back in 2009. We'll continue. Matt McCarthy and Leroy Irvin.
More Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on. Now, Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle. Leroy and Cerrone on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
McAvoy to Pasternak again from the red line. Cuts into the middle, across the line, to the left circle. Zacha shot, scores! Pavel Zacha with the game winner in overtime! And the Bruins beat the Sabres 4-3!
It's been a wild week for the Bruins. That Tuesday night game against Toronto was bad.
I would say inexcusable, but you kind of sneaky want them to get wins to kind of get out of that top 5 spot in the lottery, right?
And then the very next night, after burning Swayman against a team that you probably didn't need to burn him against, I mean, Zadorov gets a 5-minute major and all that. They just play a wretched second period. You lose to Toronto at home Tuesday night. Then you go to Buffalo, the red-hot Buffalo Sabres, with the second-best record in the Eastern Conference. And you beat them in overtime in a game that you should have won Tuesday. You didn't. You probably shouldn't have won Wednesday. You did, and it kind of all evens out for them. And now a back-to-back for them this weekend. It sounds like Jeremy Swayman could potentially play both games. We'll see about that. But overall, the Bruins have just been. It's been an up and down kind of wild experience. They are 2 points clear of the playoffs at this point. It is going to come down to the wire, and they are going to need every single point possible. It is crunch time for the Bruins at this point.
So where is the excitement? Because you mentioned this earlier. There really isn't that much excitement, according to you, around the Bruins. Where is it? If they're in the thick of it and they're fighting for a spot, what's going on?
I just think in the end, fans know who this team is.
They've been burnt so many times.
Well, somebody said this to me the other day, and it was a good point. Like, I don't know if fans have truly come back since. And I'm talking from an emotional investment level. Since Florida first round 2023, it's it's hard, right? And we all know that this team, they are who they are. They may make the playoffs, they may not. They're probably not going to win a playoff round. Although that's hard to say in hockey, just because anybody can win a playoff round in hockey. But this team has its limitations. Swayman's been awesome. He's been dynamite. He was good Tuesday night in a game that they should have won. Didn't have anything to do with Swayman. He was great in that game. So they need to ride Swayman as much as they possibly can. I do want to see him play the back-to-back this weekend. He's going to get the nod today. And we'll see ultimately where things go. But it is going to come down to probably the last day of the year. That's how competitive and tight it's going to be for this team. And listen, Minnesota is not an easy out. They play Columbus tomorrow, which is a massive game. And I want to see Swayman in both of those games. That would be my approach. I reserve the right to change my mind after today, but they need tomorrow. They need it. So it's going to be a really compelling end of this season. And that Buffalo game, they've had 2 really good wins in the last week. Detroit Saturday night, Buffalo, Wednesday night. So it's going to be a really compelling end to the year, that's for sure.
I just want to take this time. I got to shout out my son. I don't know if you listen when my son Xavier comes on.
Yes.
So he's, he's really into hockey. He's following the Bruins to the point where now he's actually foregoing working and getting tickets so he can enjoy the game and really, be devoted in the building, sitting there. So shout outs to him. I know he's listening.
Hockey's an amazing live sport.
Yeah.
To thank Ryan Johnston for hooking me up the other night.
Really?
He's wonderful. RJ was great. So, and he'll be on the call here momentarily.
Yeah.
RJ and Bob, get the Bruins and the Wild coming your way momentarily here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Leroy, as always, a joy.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Same, man.
A lot of fun to be on with you.
We'll
do
it again
so
soon. Quick. Hopefully, yeah. You need to come through when it is Leroy and Cerrone. Just sit in for a little bit, man.
I'll hang out with you guys.
Absolutely. No, you got to do that for real.
An honor to sit in for Cerrone today, that's for sure. Truly, when I say one of my favorite shows on the station.
Thank you.
Love listening to you guys. RJ and Bob coming your way next. Big game for the Bruins. Jeremy Swayman in net. Have a great rest of your night. He's Leroy. I'm Matt McCarthy. See ya.